guys, welcome back to the channel. It is middle of the morning on Wednesday morning. It's been a rough couple of days. Since the last video that I posted 2 days ago, I have been very sick. Those of you know I suffer from several chronic illnesses. My immune system has never been the best ever since childhood. I take loads of different vitamins to try to augment that, and it does help. But unfortunately, if I've already been sick, which I was, I had bronchitis for 2 weeks. I'm still not quite over it. My immune system is low and it just catches any little thing. And I'm very clean at home, very clean with myself. That's unfortunately if, you know, my son or my daughter comes in and then they're carrying a bug, I'll catch it. Same with Steve or anybody. I went to the grocery stores. I went to a couple appointments last week, and who knows, it's might be where I caught it from. And it's been going around in our area for quite a while. So one of the unpleasant things about when I get a stomach virus, and sometimes even when I don't have a stomach virus, different things will cause this to happen. I have something called cyclic vomiting syndrome. There's no known cause for it. For me, it started when I was pregnant with my kids. And I have, you know, sometimes 3 episodes a year, which is horrible, but usually it's just 2, thank God. Not good if there is some around. So, what that means is that basically, I have sort of like bouts with the vomiting. So I'll know it's coming because I break out in a cold sweat, and this is how I know that it's that, in addition to the bug, whatever I've got in me, and then I'll initially vomit everything that's in my system. I'm sorry to be so graphic, but then unfortunately I can't keep anything down. No anti-nausea medicine, not a sip of water or ginger ale or anything, not water from an ice chip. I dehydrate very quickly because the most I ever vomited in one day from this was probably almost 40 times. And it hurts my stomach and my abs. It's just like a contractual thing. My stomach just keeps bringing up whatever's in there, even when there's nothing in there. Sometimes I'll just retch, and sometimes I'll get diarrhea with it too. Yesterday was rather unpleasant because I had diarrhea with it. It was awful, and I would urinate myself, and I would have bowel movements all over myself. Thank God my sister was here to help me. She helped me clean up more than once. Finally I got to the point after doing this, oh gosh, for 6-7 hours, and I didn't really feel well when I posted the last video on Sunday night either. I knew something more was coming, but I didn't know when or what, and I didn't feel nauseous yet, but I was just really run down. I figured it was just because I had done a lot that day. But by the time 6 or 7 hours had passed on Monday, I knew that I was starting to dehydrate. I was feeling dizzy. I was having a hard time walking. My vision was getting blurry. I was starting to get a migraine, and it was scary. It's always scary when it happens, so I called an ambulance, and unfortunately in our area right now, there's a lot going on with different illnesses, especially, you know, the flu, COVID, RSV, the stomach bug. I couldn't trust myself to drive, and my neighbor, she has little ones that she had to get from school, so, I didn't have anybody to ask since Steve was at work, and although I called him and let him know what was going on, he's an hour away. So, I had to wait a half hour for the ambulance, and then I got to the hospital. It was so bright in the waiting room. By the way, it's a beautiful hospital. I have stayed there and had procedures done before and been treated for this very thing. I was treated for C. diff there about 4 years ago, and they are great. However, they're short-handed too, and because so many people are sick with so many different things, like I said, there's a shortage of beds. So they would not admit me. I have a feeling that's why, even though I was still vomiting and having diarrhea after I was there for 6 hours, it was pretty horrible. I mean, they gave me IV meds, which was a wonder because I could keep that down, obviously. They gave me 1 bag of IV fluids. Usually when I have attacks like this, I'm in the hospital for a few days for observation to make sure that I can keep things down on my own, because what they don't seem to understand, but they should because they're medical professionals, is you can give me all the anti-nausea meds that you want, and yeah, they dissolve over my tongue, but eventually some of it's going to end up in my stomach, and it's going to come up because I have GERD as well. And let me tell you guys, My esophagus was on fire last night. It was just on fire. I estimate that I probably vomited 30 times in like a 12-hour period, and that's a lot. And the most embarrassing thing, Steve came to pick me up. He's such a love, and I'm so grateful for him, and I can't thank him enough. Hi, Mittens. But after they kind of threw me out of the hospital, he was waiting for me with a smile in the waiting room, and as I was getting into his car, I had to sit back down into the wheelchair. There was a nurse behind me, and I threw up multiple times into the bucket they had given me. It was all bile and the medicine that I had just had underneath my tongue, because they gave me another 2 doses before I left. Obviously, it didn't work. And to tell you, 2 hours before then, I had to go to the bathroom. I knew I was going to have diarrhea. So I managed to walk myself to the bathroom, still feeling dizzy and lightheaded and all of that. And I had an episode of diarrhea, and it was explosive, not to be disgusting. Sorry, I was just checking a message. And then when I got up to pull up my pants, I felt like I had to throw up, so I turned around and I threw up. And then, I've never had to do this before, I had to pull the cord in the bathroom, and they had to come and get me on and put me on a stretcher. And then I just laid there for a little while, and that's when they basically came and kicked me out. They told me, "We feel that we're not concerned about your vomiting and your diarrhea." I don't understand how. I didn't have the presence of mind to ask how I was going to take the other list of medications that I take if I couldn't keep anything down, to be honest with you. So I just went. But like I said, there was a nice nurse who brought me, no, not a nurse, she's probably like a orderly or something, who brought me to Steve's car. What a sweetheart he was, because this was really disgusting. I threw up probably 4 or 5 times in the basin before I could get up, and at the same time I had massive diarrhea in my pants. And so of course we didn't want me to sit in his car like that, so the orderly went and got a couple pads to put on the seat of the Jeep. Thank God it wasn't too smelly, but I mean, it was all of my back. It was really bad, and all the poor orderly could say was she had taken the same medicine that I had prescribed, and she didn't understand why it was working, and that's because I have this terrible syndrome that affects me. So this is one of the ways that living with chronic illnesses, it can really get you. I know I look like holy hell, but believe me, this is a lot better than I looked yesterday. I did manage to get up and take a shower with Steve's help. He stayed in the bathroom with me. My sister has been doing my laundry. She helped me clean up yesterday when I got home, thank God. By the middle of the night last night, I was finally, well, it wasn't the middle of the night, it's probably about 4:30 in the morning, I was able to keep down half of a sugar-free Jell-O. So, I was able to take my acid reflux medicine and keep that down by the grace of God. And then my esophagus cooled down a little bit. But I'm going to be on a liquid diet for the next couple of days. This is just me doing this, not any advice on what they would do when I was in the hospital in the past. I have to call my doctor. I'm going to try tomorrow morning, well, this morning, to take some blood pressure meds. It's a bigger pill. I'm not too concerned about my diabetes meds, only because I'm not really eating enough to raise my sugar. And I am checking my sugar regularly. So I just want to let you guys know what was going on, give you a glimpse into, you know, one of the windows of my life that's not so pleasant. I'm sitting up by my Christmas tree. You can probably hear my son snoring in the background. He's staying down here, so it'll be easier for my sister to get him up for school. Thank God I made those breakfast Sammies. So now I don't have to worry about that, and thank God I bought those smart ones, because he's been eating them. And all the other things I got last week. Everything happens for a reason, right, guys? So yeah, so I'm not even hungry, like I said, and if I didn't say this before, from all the vomiting, like the muscles on the sides of my stomach, feels like I did about 1,000 sit-ups. Very unpleasant. I can't even cough without it hurting, and I haven't really been able to stay up and conscious. Today was the longest. I was up for about 2 hours. I was able to sit up in bed and watch 2 hours of Seinfeld with Steve. He made me a cup of broth. I drank an Ensure, so that's good, and a low sugar Ensure. Low sugar, high protein. and I'm drinking ginger ale right now. So I'm just gonna sit up because my back is hurting from laying down so much. I'm still having diarrhea, although I don't understand how there could possibly be anything really in my system. So that just baffles me. But I'm gonna take some anti-diarrhea medicine for that as well. I thank all of you for watching. I love you all. Sorry that this video was graphic. Like I said, I just wanted to give you a window into what it's like to be dealing with this kind of chronic illness and issue. Some of our issues, if we're people who deal with this, you know, one issue compounds the other and it just makes it worse. You know, like for any other person, like, you know, you would just get up, throw up once or twice, and that would be the end of it. You know, as long as you didn't eat anything heavy, you'd be feeling fine by the next day. I'm so wiped that I may be wiped for the rest of the week. I don't want to be, because my daughter's birthday's on Friday. I want to at least be well enough to do what I promised to do with her. So I hope that you have all been well. I'm sending love to all of you from New Jersey. I really am so appreciative of all of your support. I'm so appreciative for all of my subscribers, new and old. And I don't know what happened with that Egg Sammy video. If I have to, I'll re-record it. I have to look at the settings on my phone and see what happened that way. Or maybe it's the way I edited it. Like I said, I was starting not to feel well, but I may re-record that and make it part of, you know, a video that has multiple things to do with eggs. So, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.